Hey guys, what's up? So in this particular video, we will try to find out the exact reasons behind the emergence of sociology in Europe. In our last lecture, we have tried to put in that how in the European society there was development of industrialization, capitalism, the scientific development in the thinking of people, the scientific development in the way of production, from feudalism to the capitalism. We have seen all these things. But now, in this particular video, we will try to figure out the exact reason which led to the emergence of sociology in Europe. Let's start. The French Revolution. In our last video, we discussed that measure the four events which took place in the European history which led to a drastic change from the earlier way of living. One of them was the French Revolution. Yes, French Revolution which erupted in 1789 marked a turning point in the history of struggle for freedom and equality. It put an end to an age of feudalism and ushered a new order in the society. Its ideals were like liberty, fraternity, equality, which now form a part of preamble of the Constitution of India. And this revolution has far-reaching changes in not only the French but in the societies throughout the Europe. There were many reasons in the European society itself, in the French society itself, which led to the French Revolution. There was huge amount of discontent as the French society was divided into three estates. The two estates, they were enjoying privileges, they were enjoying a higher status in the society, but the third estate was taxed heavily. It was living its life in poverty, and this was the point which leading to the discontent among the people. And another things were also going on, like intellectuals were writing about the capacity of human being to select their king. There should not be monarchy, there should be the democracy. The Montesquieu, Locke, Voltaire, Rousseau, they were writing immensely. Political aspect was like there was absolute monarchy and the divine right of king to rule. There was poverty in the French society. One of the queen said that if you do not have bread, then eat cake. That level of poverty and that level of ignorance by the kings and the queen, which lead to disruption in the society, which lead to the emergence of a revolution. The Montesquieu done his work, The Spirit of Law, and here he suggested that there should not be the concentration of authority, the executive, legislative, judicial power at one hand. There should not be. There should be separation of power. He given his theory, the theory of separation of power and liberty of individual. So he was writing in such a way that it gave an impetus to the individuals to think and then work accordingly. There was nothing sacred now because there were huge changes taking place in the thinking, in the inclination, the orientation of thinking was changing. The Locke advocated that every individual have certain right and you cannot take that away. Doesn't matter at what level the authority is working. There is right to live, there is right to authority and right to the personal freedom. So these people were writing and these writings were encouraging the human beings there that they have the right to select their king or queen who work for their welfare. There should not be discrimination that only the third state is taxed so heavily that they are just surviving hardly. It's very difficult to manage a two-time food. The French Revolution, Voltaire said that religious toleration and freedom of speech. It means the human being, the people have the right to speech. Rousseau in his social contract said the people of a country have the right to choose their sovereign. The ideas of these intellectuals struck the imagination of French people. The French middle class was deeply affected by these ideas of liberty and equality. Now they were trying to find out an egalitarian system. The French Revolution changed the political structure of the European society and replaced the age of feudalism with the arrival of democracy. Now there was democracy. Each and every individual was considered rational, given the right to vote, given the authority to select their own ruler. Many significant themes emerged due to the impact of this revolution, which have been the focus of early interest of the sociologist. Significant theme: the transformation of property, the social disorder caused by the change in the political structure, and the impact on the economic structure, and it lead to the development of a new class of power, the bourgeoisie. It's mean when French Revolution took place, then there was a sudden disruption. Suddenly, in the place of monarchy, there was democracy. Suddenly, the system was dominated by the feudalism. Now there was capitalism. This sudden change lead to the disruption in the society. Next, Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution began around 1760 AD. It brought about the great changes in the social and the economic life of the people in England, then in the other countries of Europe and in the other continent also. In Europe, especially England, the discovery of new territories, exploration, growth of trade and commerce, and consequent growth of town brought about an increase in the demand for goods. Earlier, goods were produced at domestic level. This means there existed a domestic system of production, but as the demand increased, the production also need to be increased on a large scale. During the 1760 and 1830 AD, a series of invention in tools and techniques and organization of production took place, and it gave birth to the factory system of production. A change in economy from feudal to capitalist system of production developed. As a result, there emerged a class of capitalists who controlled the new system of production. Okay, so this industrial system, earlier there was feudalism, now there is capitalism. The great demand for goods in the market was there, and the domestic system was not capable to fulfill the demand. So an entire different new system was needed, and that was a factory system. With the change in the economy, several changes in the society also took place. As the capitalism became more and more complex, the development of bank, insurance companies, finance corporation took place. It's mean new system and new demands, new institutions and new ideas. New class of industrial workers, managers and capitalists emerged. The peasants in the industrial society, the peasants, now they find themselves under the one roof in the textile mill. Instead of the countryside, now they were in a hygienic living conditions. Because there was urbanization, there was a migration on a large scale. And this migration on a large scale led to the crowded in the urbanized areas. It was very unhygienic. With the increased production, population started increasing and it led to the urbanization. The industrial cities grew rapidly and there were huge socio-economic disparities because the capitalist class was earning a higher profit, but the labor were giving a very meager payment. The factory workers were involved in repetitive and boring work. They were not able to reflect their creativity. They could not enjoy it. Earlier when they were working in the field, they were working in the field areas. They were working with their family members. They used to discuss a lot of things and the work was under their control. It was their wish that today they want to work or not, or take rest or not. But in the factory system, they have to work according to the clock, according to the rules, according to the timings that they have to work between the 4 hour, 3 hour session. nothing was in their control, and even they were not able to reflect their creativity. The next is these changes moved both the conservative and the radical thinkers. When these changes were taking place, that a person whose labor was not given that importance that he deserved, he was not able to reflect his creativity. He was finding it boring and he was living in a very unhygienic condition. Then it hit the thoughts, not only the conservative, also the radical thinkers. The conservative feared that such condition would lead to the chaos and the disorder, and there were radicals who find that the factory worker would initiate a social transformation. It's mean a new social condition was there, a social condition where a new section of people, a new section, a migrant worker, find himself in a congested area with a meager payment, unhygienic condition, and it led to the different social evils in society also. Though the judgment of values differed, social thinkers of the time were agreed upon the epoch-making impact of industrial revolution. It's mean this industrial revolution lead to the changes in the society at various level, not only for the goodness but also the various negative changes were also taking place. Negative changes were like new type of crimes were developing because people were living in an unhygienic condition. New kind of diseases were developing because this entire system was so depressing that social violence, domestic violence was increasing. Whenever some event take place, it has its reflection in various forms. They were agreed upon the importance of new working class. The history of the period from 1811 to 1850 indicate that this class is increasingly agitating for its right. This new working class, which gained importance during this time, now it started to ask for its rights also. The changes that were brought by the industrial revolution, first of all, the condition of labor, it get worse. They were socially deprived, and the sociologists who do the sociological investigations, they find out this poverty is not natural. This is a social poverty. This is a constructed poverty. The social setup has been constructed in such a way that the labor who are working, they will not get enough payment. The entire profit will move towards the capitalist. The poor will getting more poor, not because they are not working on the talent. The entire system have such kind of inclination that they have to be poor. The transformation of property. Earlier, the land has its value in the feudal system, but now the money, the capital gained importance. Feudal landlords became less important, less significant. Real power was in the hand of the capitalist. Poverty is related to the economic privileges, social status, political power, and a change in the poverty also led to the change in the economic privilege, social status, and the political power. Urbanization was a necessary corollary of the industrial revolution. Industries grew, along with it the cluster of the population also grew. Modern towns and cities were established. Even the cities and the towns were also present in the ancient period, but they were known for their civilized graces, virtues. They were known for a good living conditions, prosperity, but this time they were known for the misery, inhumanity, and the sociologists were concerned about this. They were finding out the reason behind it, they were finding out their consequences, and this leads to the emergence of sociology. Technology and the factory system. Industrial revolution brought new technology and a factory system. In this, both the conservative and the radical thinker realized that these technology and new factory system will change the human life for all the times. Rural urban migration on a large scale was taking place. due to the Industrial Revolution. Family relation, structure, pattern, interaction was changing. Now there were more nuclear families instead of the joint families. Occupational relation. The machine rather than the man seemed to dominate the work. Earlier, the relation between the laborer and the product were good. Labor were capable of reflecting their creativity and energy into that product, and they can say that it is my product, and he can take that pride with herself, with himself, that yes, I have created this. But during the machinery production, when the produce a product it produced from a machine, no one can claim this is mine product, it was a baby of machine, and they worked for the wages. The product was child of everybody, of the machine particular. The next is changes in the intellectual orientation in the Europe. Now all these things were happening. There was capitalism, profit making, French Revolution, Industrial Revolution, Scientific Revolution. So many things were happening at one time. And what was the result of this? Change in the intellectual orientation. Sociology emerged as a response to the forces of change. How sociology emerged? Emerged as a response to the forces of change. What were the forces of change? Industrial Revolution, there was French Revolution, there was new system of capitalism, method of profiteering. Lots of changes were happening at society level, at political level, at economic level, and as a response of these changes, because a sociologist try to understand the changes in the society which are taking place due to any XYZ factor. And in the 19th century in Europe, the ideas were discussed again and again through the sociological writing. 18th century thinker, they were consistently thinking that how the human condition will get affected by all these changes. They applied scientific principle to study the human beings, their nature, their society, and it was the 18th century thinkers who upheld a reason as a measure to the social institution and the suitability of a human nature. According to them, human being essentially rational, and the rationality will lead them to the freedom of thought and action. It's mean because all such changing were taking place, and in the between of all these changes, what happened, that they find out that if something is happening, there should be a reason behind it, there should be a logic behind it. If there is a reason, then they can judge whether it is right or wrong. Things should not be metaphysical, should not be superstitious. The main idea was like this. In the 18th century, human beings are capable of attaining the perfection. It's mean all these things, all the upheaval was taking place led to a conclusive point that human beings have capacity, they have caliber, they have potential, they should be given the liberty, they should be given the right of taking decision. And by criticizing and by changing the social institution, this perfection can be achieved. It's mean there should be a discussion. It is not like things are sacred and accept as the way they are. No. There should be a discussion, there should be a criticism, and if the social institutions are changing with the time and fulfilling the need of the time, then only they will be get accepted. In the early part of the 19th century, the philosophy of history became the important point which influenced the intellectuals. The basic assumption of this philosophy that society must have progressed through a series of steps from a single to a complex. The philosophy of history has given the concept of historical period and social types. The social thinkers who developed the philosophy of history were the Saint Pierre, and it was concerned with the whole of the society, not merely the political, economic or cultural aspect of the society. Philosophy of history means that when we say that human beings have evolved from a simple organism, unicellular animal, to a human being with higher cerebral capabilities, the cerebral capabilities will lead to a greater experience of life and huge capability and potential. Similar way, the society evolved from a simple to a complex, from a simpler level to a higher level. So we relate it to the history. It is known as the philosophy of history. Then the philosophy of history was further reinforced by the evolutionary approach, that how human beings have approached. It's mean the biological theory also help it to grow. Herbert Spencer was a good example in all this. Evolution approach and philosophy of history. I think we have discussed it. Social survey. Yes. Social survey form important part in the modern sociology. The basic assumption is that through the knowledge of social condition, one can arrive at a solution and we can solve the social problem. What social survey facilitate us, that we get to know more about the ground situation. By observation, we try to find out what is the problem, and if we are aware about the problem, the extent of problem, the gravity of the problem, then only we will able to solve the problem. If the rape cases are happening in India, then how the policy should be framed by the government? Which schemes? How should be organized? How the social inclination towards the woman should change? How by our education system we can change the thinking process of a student? So how we will do this if we are aware about the ground situation, the reality? Social survey lead to the two reasons. Growing conviction that method of natural sciences are superior, and the society of human affair, human phenomena can be studied, can be measured. It's mean that doing survey, doing experiment, doing observation, all these things are done in the field of science like chemistry, physics, natural environmental studies. At that time, it became a stronger conviction among the sociologists that these science method of survey, of observation, doing experiment, they can be also applied on human beings also. The other was also the concern with poverty. Following the recognition of poverty was not natural, it was a social poverty. A major paradox. These changes brought this major, I think this is the very conclusive step which we should take, that